You know how most people start with a starter home and then they move up? We never did that. We bought this house, and 28 years later, it's still the only home we've ever owned. And it's not because we couldn't upgrade, but because we chose not to. And before I go any further, this was our decision. There is nothing wrong with wanting to trade up or chasing your dream home. We just realized early on that for us, staying put made more sense financially and emotionally. Today, I wanted to share why this simple choice has shaped our entire financial freedom journey and why we call this our forever home. When we first moved in, we were young and we were just thrilled to have a place of our own. We didn't have any fancy furniture and we didn't even have a dishwasher, and we still don't. We learned to fix things ourselves and we stretched every dollar, finding joy in this simple part of home ownership, like planting our first tree or painting the kitchen on a tight budget. This was supposed to be our 5-year house, our starter home, before something bigger and better. But every year, something about this place just pulled us in deeper. We started realizing that happiness didn't come from square footage, it came from gratitude. Every improvement we made, every corner we made our own, made us fall in love with this even more. Somewhere along that way, we stopped calling it our starter home and called it our home, period. Over the years, we have watched some of our friends upgrade. The bigger, more beautiful houses with walk-in closets, the open floor plans, and 3-stall garages. And I'll have to be honest, I have felt the temptation. It's easy to picture ourselves in those spaces with the extra storage, the bigger kitchens and fancy countertops, and the walk-in closets. For a while, we thought maybe we should do the same. But one evening we sat down at this table and we started running those numbers. We looked at what a move might really cost us, the higher mortgage and higher property taxes, insurance, utilities, and all the extra upkeep those houses would cost us. And then we looked at what staying here could mean, saving more money, investing more money, and more freedom for us. The math told the truth. A bigger house doesn't just cost more once, it costs more forever. And that was our light bulb moment. We realized that every upgrade meant pushing back our dream to financial independence. Let's look at what upgrading really costs today. So imagine a couple earning $100,000 a year, about $8,300 a month before taxes. Now, if they stay in their current home, especially one that's paid off or nearly paid off, their housing costs might total around $1,200 a month. And that would be just property taxes, insurance, and upkeep if it was paid off. But if they buy that $500,000 upgrade with a $400,000 mortgage at 7%, their monthly costs jumps to about $3,500. That's 42% of their income, compared to just 14% if they stayed put. Now, over a year, that's the difference between spending $14,000 and $42,000 on housing alone. Staying put gives you more freedom, more peace, and more room to live, while upgrading can quietly lock you into years of financial pressure. And that's why for us, the best move we ever made was choosing not to move. So we made a promise to each other that we were going to stop comparing our home to everyone else's and start making this one everything that we needed it to be. We remodeled the kitchen and the bathroom, we added a fully furnished basement, and we built a new front porch. The entire home is ours. Every wall, every corner, every bit of it is paid for and filled with our effort and our love. It stopped being a house that we were settling for, and it became our home that we truly loved. Staying here has changed everything about our finances. We have never stretched ourselves to afford more house. And because of that, we could pay this one off early, years ahead of schedule. So the first month that we didn't have a house payment, it felt like a miracle. It was crazy. And then suddenly we also realized that that same money that we were using to make a house payment can now be invested consistently. So we took that amount and we put it into index funds and our retirement accounts. And those small, steady investments compounded quietly over time. That's a huge part of what allows us to retire early today. It wasn't luck. It was decades of intentional choices and the patience to let time and discipline do the heavy lifting. Looking back, that decision not to move might be the single biggest financial advantage we ever created. Over time, our relationship with this home has deepened in ways that we have never expected. Every wall, every creaky floorboard holds memories for us. We've had birthday parties and late night talks, quiet mornings drinking our coffee on the front porch. This home has seen laughter and tears and everything in between. And there's comfort in knowing that kind of history, a sense of belonging that no new home can replace. Sometimes we drive through neighborhoods with new homes and they are beautiful, but we always come back here feeling thankful because this house is filled with our story, not just drywall and paint, but 28 years of our life. And that's something that money simply can't buy. It's not just where we live, but it's where we've become who we are. What we have learned after nearly 3 decades of living in this house is that contentment isn't about settling, it's about gratitude. And the more we focused on what we already had, the less we felt like we needed to upgrade. We realized that chasing more often leads to more stress, while appreciating enough leads to peace. And staying put has taught us that wealth isn't measured in square feet, it's measured in freedom. And that freedom comes from living below your means and reducing stress and giving your future self room to breathe. So, if you're in a home that meets your needs, even if it's not perfect, maybe that's exactly where you are meant to be right now. Because sometimes the best upgrade isn't a new address, it's a new mindset. If you're watching this and you have upgraded, that is okay. Everyone's journey looks different. But if you're ever feeling the pressure to move up, just pause and ask yourself why. Are you doing it because you really need the space, or is it because that's what society expects from you? What if the smartest financial move that you will ever make is staying exactly where you're at? And what if instead of chasing the next big thing, that you started enjoying the beauty of what's already yours? Home isn't measured by size, it is measured by peace. After 28 years, this house has given us more than we have ever expected. It's not perfect, but neither are we. It has taught us patience and gratitude, and that happiness really does live in the small moments. We may never have the biggest house, but we have something that is much more valuable: contentment and freedom. Thanks for watching today. If this video has inspired you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share your forever home story in the comments below. Because sometimes staying put is the smartest move you'll ever make.